You are now listening to the Collecting Weekly podcast.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Manny.
I'm Rainer.
And I'm Jesse.
Welcome to today's Christmas episode of Collecting Weekly. Merry Christmas to all our listeners from the beautiful United States all the way to Sudden England and now Canada. Wow.
Yeah.
This is the weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us in collecting. If it's your first time with us, our content is available on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Instagram, and Facebook. We do a lot of behind the scenes on Instagram, so check us out if you want to see what we got going on there. And those are all available by searching for Collecting Weekly.
I want to wish everybody a happy holidays.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
If you listen to this on Christmas, I'm sorry that your family sucks.
Now, I want to start this with our new this week. I know some of you guys got some pretty cool things. And not only that, but I want to start developing segments that we all have as our own. So Sydney's going to take over new this week. So did you want to give us the new this week?
For me, I bought the Hot Toys A New Hope Obi-Wan Kenobi. And it's fantastic.
You got a steal on it too.
I did. I got it for $150.
And
it's not complete.
There we go.
Doesn't have his hands, alternate hands, no base. It does have the light up saber with the blade, but it doesn't have the unlit saber or the unlit.
My goodness. What did you pay for it? I'm just kidding.
He just said $150.
That's a pretty decent price just because.
No, it's a good price. It goes for like $300 complete.
Yeah, or above. I was looking at
yeah.
like $440. I was like, yeah, I should probably buy this Obi-Wan right now.
Yeah, it's a figure that I don't think they're ever going to remake.
Yeah.
You know, I think you got a great price. You had messaged me if it was a good price, and I'm glad that you picked it up.
It's the boots are amazing. Just the feel of it, the material is really, really nice.
Dude, I saw the hands on this thing, and like it's like a real old man hand.
Well, they're also stained from the robe, which is pretty common. That's a common thing.
I think Twang's ID has the hands. You might want to check if you have certain poses that you want to get.
Yeah.
I really like it when he has the hands on the belt.
Right. I also added, thanks to Rainer over here, for Christmas, the Black Series Hera from Star Wars Rebels. Super well done. Really, really like it. It comes with a little blaster, but that's about it, which is kind of a bummer, but it's whatever. And then Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Magic.
Oh shit! I thought that was like a figure arts when you had it on the show.
No, yeah, it's super cool, and I actually don't really know a whole lot about Magic, but she was one of the characters I was always trying to get in Marvel's Contest of Champions on the iPhone. Mm-hmm. Just a fighting game. It's super fun, and so I got her.
Nice.
Yeah, what about you guys?
I got something that's not so Christmas. I know this is a Christmas episode, but I got my favorite holiday. It's Halloween. I got the new Halloween 2018 Michael Myers from NECA.
That thing looks amazing.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude,
it really does.
It's pretty sweet. I had it on pre-order from Big Bad Toy Store, and they haven't even. I don't even think they've received their shipment. Man, that's hard to say. They haven't received it yet, so I just paid like $6 more to have it from. It's from NECA's eBay store.
Really?
And yeah, I paid like $6
Oh,
more.
that's nice.
I really like it. I really like it when companies have an eBay store. Like Hasbro has one, and it's always like I think I got the figure like the next day. Like I don't understand how they got it for free shipping the next day.
Yeah, dude, it wasn't. It was scheduled originally to get here on Wednesday the 19th. But I got it on Sunday.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was pretty cool. I love it. It's pretty badass.
Anybody else?
I've been kind of taking it easy this week. I know I got the ODST that you gave me last week, which was really awesome. I'm considering pre-ordering the Thanos, the KO. Keyboard Warriors put up a video when we were doing our CW Awards, which if you haven't listened to it, it's a really good podcast. Hilarious moments in that podcast.
Oh yes,
it was a loud podcast, but I'm considering it. It looks really good. It's almost exactly the same size as the first release Hot Toys from Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It comes with the Infinity Gauntlet, which I don't think it lights up. I think it's a hollow structure. But it looks really good. I'm strongly considering. I think it's like 110 US dollars, which is really good for like a 14-inch figure.
It is underscaled though, right?
Because it's from the Guardians figure,
base.
which is pretty small.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I'm not gonna drop the 400 plus or whatever it is for the Thanos from Hot Toys.
Right.
And for me, I really like the look of the armor.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if in the in game he's wearing the armor, that would be a figure I'd consider.
Well, he's wearing the armor in Infinity War, isn't he? Like at
for the beginning, yeah. But Hot Toys,
Yeah, I remember
they only give you the option without.
thinking
the armor.
when they released the actual pictures of him sleeveless, I was like, that looks stupid.
Yeah.
Now I actually kind of prefer
You
it.
got some big beefy arms. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Rainer, did you have anything you got?
Yeah, so this week for Christmas, thanks to Dean, I got finally added Bays Insurate Irmway from Black Series to my collection.
Nice.
Yeah, they were.
The base is kind of hard to find.
Dude, they were both really hard to find for a long time, and then magically, like Anakin from long ago, they just started popping up at Ross
Dude, Ross is
for
awesome.
like $5. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's where
dude,
Victoria found
people
them.
were paying like $60 for Bays and Cheer It, and now $5 on Ross if you find them. I had to buy them online, but
It's kind of funny. 2 or 3 episodes ago, you gave me a Dr. Afra TVC collection.
Yeah.
And I found myself last Monday still looking for it, and then I was like, wait, I already have one. I was digging through the boxes at Walmart, and I was like, wait a second, what am I doing? Really awkward. Jesse, did you get anything new this week?
this week I didn't pick up anything. It was just
It's holidays. It's Christmas. It's like
those
I'm buying.
these are
stuff
rookie
for-
numbers, man. You gotta get those numbers up.
Dude, before we continue, going back to Ross, I don't know if you guys seen, but Tarkin's starting to hit Ross,
Really?
and it's $3.99, bro.
Holy shit.
So I
You owe
sold.
me money.
If I go and I see him, I might pick him up. I mean, you can't pass him up for that.
Yeah, you
price.
sold me him like, wasn't it like $12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I owe you like.
If I find another one, I'll buy it for you.
Aw.
What a genuine.
Yeah, and I
moment on
think
this
I never go to Ross, guys.
Obi-Wan Black Series is $3.99 also. And I don't remember who else. It was like the whole.
Yeah, they get
day.
random stuff.
Yeah, dude,
That's
there.
crazy.
So the first thing that I wanted to talk about this week, for me personally, is a very complex issue. I want to spend a few moments on it because it's an incredibly complex issue. So obviously, as we all know, Stan Lee died very recently. Rest in peace. And a lot of people initially started scalping the Hot Toy Stan Lee, which I think is in poor taste.
Deplorable.
But you know,
Sickening.
it's your figure. You can do with it what you want, and if people want to pay it, that's their
If you want to be
prerogative.
a total piece of garbage, that's up to you. This is America.
Yeah.
Profiting on the dead.
With that being said, a KO company called Woo Toys released a 1/6 scale Stan Lee for pre-order. The figure comes in at $150, has a huge selection of props and a huge number of different accessories. I think it has 2 outfits. It looks really solid.
Yeah.
It's clearly a recast of the Hot Toys head, which, depending on how they're recasting it, could turn out really great or could turn out really poor. The pictures initially look really good. I suspect they're probably using a genuine Hot Toys head to sell this figure. But it is an incredibly complex issue. Now, first and foremost, obviously, this means that his estate is not going to be paid for this figure. I have no idea what the numbers look like for payouts, like how much an estate or an actor gets for each figure sold. I imagine it's not a lot, but when you are considering the volume, it probably adds up.
Right.
And with that being said, his estate would probably have gone to his kids and the people that surrounded him towards the end. And a lot of those people were people that really, at least from what I could observe, and I know from what we all talked about privately when we were thinking about making this a segment, they really treated him like really bad towards the end. You know, he was going to cons, barely able to remember his name, barely able to sign. Really looked miserable. I think there was even some rumors that he had reached out to try to get out of those really bad situations.
Right.
And you could really tell that they were milking him to the very end.
I mean, the dude was 95, is still doing the con scene. Like,
Yeah,
that's not
which is
how you should
incredible.
go.
I'm hitting 30 and I don't even want to do
on
it.
one hand, yeah, I'm 26 and I barely leave the house. So on one hand, it's like his estate loses money first and foremost, and another company makes money.
But
Now-
does the estate?
Wait, let me
decide?
clarify. I wasn't calling you Stoop, like stupid. Stoop
Stoop
kid.
kid.
Yeah, sorry.
So like I said, this is a recast of the Hot Toys with new clothes. So Hot Toys themselves are getting screwed out of a potential intake of money if they decide to re-release it. Now on Hot Toys' side, it's pretty. It's also a little testy because if they decide to make a Stan Lee, even before this got announced, a lot of us would think that they're also trying to profit off of Stan Lee's death,
Right.
and then also benefiting his estate and his friends and family. It is so complex. I really don't know how to feel about this. One, first and foremost, he was an artist, so a unlicensed piece of art with his image is, I think, not the best way to honor his legacy.
Right.
Hot Toys has shown no interest in as far as I can see, in teasing a new Stan Lee.
No, I haven't seen anything.
So I just really don't know how to feel. I'll be totally honest. I have it on pre-order. The prices on with all that being said, the prices to get one are insane. I couldn't afford it, because even
before
last
he
year,
died,
yeah, even
they were
before he died,
expensive.
it was expensive. It was one of those that was very limited. I think there's one store in San Antonio that might have it, but they charging like an arm and a leg for it even
Right.
before he died. So I can't imagine what it is now if they still have it. And
Oh,
it's
they still have it,
It's
I'm sure.
certainly not a thing where it's like I didn't care about Stan Lee when he was alive, and now that he's dead, I want to pretend that I care about him. I mean, if I found that figure for $220 or whatever the retail is, I definitely would have picked it up. Never had the opportunity because I started collecting late, and I've been chasing down figures.
And now you're collecting weekly.
So
Let's say-
what do
Hot
you guys
Toys-
think
I like
about this?
this.
What do you guys think about this?
Well, I was gonna say, go ahead.
No, you go
I
first.
was gonna say, what if Hot Toys did revisit it, but donated some of the proceeds? No, would you be okay with
But
that?
to
They said like,
who
hey,
they donated?
oh, that's true. Who's this? Estate?
Well, I don't think that they would ever do that. Now, I guess the question is, if tomorrow Hot Toys put up a Stan Lee pre-order, would I cancel this one to get the Hot Toys? I would say absolutely yes. At this point, there's no indication. We're filming this a little early, so between now and when we release this, they might. But I don't know. It's really complex.
I
I know,
think-
Manny, you were saying that you thought you might want to try to pick this one up as a
Yeah,
pre-order.
dude.
Dean, what do you think?
No.
No interest?
I think it would look cool next to Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, one, I don't have the want or need for a Stan Lee.
Wow.
But
You already have one old man in the collection. From back
yeah,
in the day.
and Sir Alec Guinness is by far arguably cooler. But
Arguably.
yeah, someone's gonna fucking send hate
We're gonna
mail
get
to
some
us
sub.
now. Yeah,
Sudden England will tune out immediately.
yeah. No, they probably love it. Sir Alec Guinness is
Oh,
British.
that's true. That's true.
But anyway, there's too many pieces in that machine to be like, this is cool and this is a good idea, but it's like someone gets hurt either way. Like, yeah, you don't.
It's a very
wanna-
complex issue.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are family members of his that did their best, that actually cared for him as best they could. Sure. But it's also like, well, this company's just making a bunch of money just because he's passed away. So I don't know. I think for me, it's just like I'd rather just not even deal with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if I would pick one up.
Moving forward, we got real somber
It's so
there.
sad.
It's a bad situation. I mean, I want a Stan Lee. I got Iron Man, Deadpool, a bunch of other characters. I want to get a Spider-Man at one point.
Yeah.
For me, that's the only way, really, realistically, without breaking the bank, I could get a Stan Lee.
True.
Introducing our news segment moving forward. Jesse, do you want to lead us off with your segment, the title, and tell us about it?
Yeah, so DC report. Because we don't talk about DC much, but now that's changing.
Yeah.
So,
We don't talk about chicken nuggets either. but-
well, I mean,
Well, we
okay,
did
I'll bring
talk
chicken
last
nuggets next time. I'll bring some chicken nuggets. Listen, you guys, Aquaman is hitting theaters on Friday. So if you guys are listening on Tuesday, which is today, which is Christmas, Merry Christmas. Actually, no, it'd be out by
It's
then.
already been out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you like,
So Aquaman dies.
yeah, he's dead. Movies,
Batman blows up. And
Superman.
I haven't seen any of the DC, so I'm not sure if you guys are trolling or
And
not.
then Captain America comes in and
Oh,
saves the
He
day.
has a mustache.
Stanley
Yeah.
saves the day.
Yeah.
Stanley comes. So
KO Stanley.
right. So they announced what feels like almost 2 years ago the Justice League Aquaman. All the Justice League figures. As of yet, they've released two: Tech Suit Batman and Wonder Woman. We haven't seen anything from Cyborg. We saw some Justice. What is it? Flash. And then Superman should be released soon. But they haven't released Aquaman yet, and they've already put up the pre-order for Aquaman from Aquaman. And the Justice League suit Aquaman isn't even out yet, and a lot of people are kind of outraged. Like, how are you gonna put this one up for pre-order when you haven't even released the Justice League one?
Right.
Yeah, because people have been making payments on the
And
first one.
The first one is not even out yet, so it's like, well,
Sleazy.
But they did the
Right.
same thing with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because they had the training version.
Yeah, and then people were still waiting for the Justice League one, and then her movie Wonder Woman, the training, and then the one with the coat
right.
was already
Yeah.
put up on pre-order or coming out, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I feel like there's no love for DC. I mean, arguably, there's no arguments there. The movies don't. They're not up to par with Marvel. They just don't get the numbers or the excitement. They always drop the ball. But I feel like there's a lot of just complaints about that. That how come this figure is being released for pre-order, but when Justice League's not even out yet.
Yeah.
The Justice League figure.
Yeah, I will say I'm actually pretty amped for Aquaman.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the movie.
I've heard good things about
I'm
it.
actually shocked at how much I want to see it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. The one thing I wanted
Terminator timeline, since this is already out.
right? Now, speaking of the Aquaman, the pre-order price from Hong Kong is $190 US. Sideshow has it for $243, so there obviously is a huge increase. And I saw this on OSR 16 Republic. They call it the Sideshow tax, and obviously there's some expense to send these figures across the ocean, to warehouse them, to deal with the customer service to sell them, and then after the fact. That's a lot of money, though. Not only that, but the $190 US price is the retail price, and it's not the price that Sideshow is buying these at. They're buying these obviously at wholesale, which is insane. When you look at figures that
Don't come with much or aren't very articulate
Yeah.
like this one.
yeah, that's a lot. But not even that. But if you look at like Mythos Obi-Wan, which is a super expensive figure, it's Sideshow's own figure that they're buying at super reasonable wholesale costs that are way more than most retail releases from Hot Toys. Then you factor in that you're comparing Sideshow's MSRP versus Hot Toys' actual true MSRP. It's pretty staggering. It's really annoying.
I think Sideshow is just salty because Hot Toys produces something I don't know, like,
Well, they're
that's way
prototypes.
better.
You see them and they're like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. But then the final
Yeah.
blows it out of the park. Where Sashio's
Prototype is like, whoa.
But then their final is like, oh, what is this?
They gotta make money somehow, so they're like, well, let's mark this up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that leads me really well into my next segment, which is Sideshow started up a group. They call it Let Your Geek Sideshow, and I'm a member at this point. I don't know how long I'm gonna be a member for, but I'm really salty about this group. I really dislike it.
Does it have to do
I
with
think-
this R2?
Yes, it does. It has to do with your Christmas gift. And basically, I posted a picture of this R2, which was chromed out. And within seconds of posting, I got a message that it was deleted. And they said, and I quote, "We can't have you post your... we deleted your post on the custom R2-D2 due to licensing issues. Repaints are not allowed in the group." And obviously every group has their own rules, but when you think about that the licensor would have an issue with my repaint, it really doesn't make any sense. First off, Sideshow had a contest which was plugged on tested, plugged on pretty much all over the world. It's a really popular contest. It's called #R2MeToo, and that was basically people took a Sideshow... Pretty good hashtag. People took a Sideshow R2-D2 and customized it to look like just craziness. I mean, they all look really awesome.
Not to be confused with #R2MeToo, which is people who were
Hashtag
sexually
MeToo.
assaulted by R2-D2.
Right? And so I thought it was odd that they would tell me this. Now, initially, I was, my first response was, well, you guys did it yourself and it's on your website. And their response was just all over the place. They said it was a legal thing. But the thing is, like, if I buy a Sideshow Luke Skywalker and I decide to weather it a little bit or repaint the head or do anything, who cares? I bought it.
As your property.
Sideshow made their money. Star Wars made their money. Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill probably got a cut. who gives a damn what I do with it when it's in my house?
Not only that, but like people will see your figure and be like, I want to do that, and they'll purchase one.
Exactly. Now, I think the reason why, like you guys brought up earlier, was that I think Sideshow is starting to realize that they can't compete with artists that take the time to really make their figures look good. My $8 Hasbro R2, in my opinion, rivals the Hot Toys.
Oh, I own the Hot Toys, and that is accurate.
Yeah, and they started telling me like you can't post. I sent them a picture of Deadpool, which I post on my Instagram with like the Darth Vader dome and the cape.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we can't do part swapping, we can't do anything. I'm like, guys, what the hell? Like, it's all licensed stuff. It's not like I'm gonna post my KO Stan Lee on there. Then I look at the damn page, and there's people that posted collection pics with like 7 third-party figures, and their moderators are liking it or just completely letting it slide.
Yeah.
It's just bananas. The thing that really bothers me is that group does no self-promotion, yet they went out and went to every single Facebook group and told people to join their group, and they advertised everywhere, and once they hit their 10,000 members, then they started shutting off everyone from doing their own self-promotion on their group. It's just a nightmare. They're posting their own affiliate links to their website, and they don't allow anyone else to post affiliate links. And if you're not familiar with those, you'll see those on a lot of Facebook groups. Those basically allow groups to do giveaways because they get a certain amount of, a very small amount of cash each time someone uses the link to buy a figure. And that gets added to a total, and when they're able to cash it out to get a figure, they subtract from their amount. So the fact that they're posting their own affiliate links on their own group that they got members from 10,000 really fast from advertising other groups, it's just super shitty. I really hate it. It makes no sense. Most people that I know, even, I wouldn't say you guys are like huge customizers, but you guys have a lot of stuff that isn't stock. It is just an absolute nightmare. They basically told me the group isn't for everyone, which is odd because in their about portion of the group, it's a group for everyone. I totally understand the whole thing about third-party stuff being posted on the site, but for them to give me a whole bunch of BS about for legal, I'm so pissed. I was so pissed for them to say like the license. There's legal issues with you repainting your stuff, dude. It makes no damn sense.
That's super sleazy.
Yeah, it is just a nightmare. They said you can't. They said, and I quote, "If you've altered anything from the original state, custom paint, head swap, etc., they can't be shared within the group." What is the point?
What if you put a custom in the group or something?
It gets deleted immediately.
Like a full custom, like my
deleted immediately.
That's
my
stupid.
Rorschach, that would be gone.
Dude, real quick before we move on, talking about this reminds me of the company TOTS, Trick or Treat Studios. When they see somebody share their repainted Michael Myers mask, they take it off and they say you shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah.
You shouldn't make it better.
I went ahead and repainted mine. I don't think it's the best one in the world.
Dude,
Thank you.
You got to give yourself credit. That thing looks
But,
badass.
I mean, you can make, what they produced a good mold, and then, you have the sculpt there, and then, artists can repaint them and stuff, and, like, Trick or Treat Studios gets real.
So do they put like a copyright request?
They say they put something on IG. You can look them up.
Oh,
and,
shit,
and it's like, please don't share your repaints out of respect or something. It was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like if I buy a brand new car and I decide
put
I want to add a
some
racing stripe or new wheels, I'm not gonna call from Honda and be like, "Yo, bro, what's going on,
Bro, you gotta put
Licensing
racing
issues.
stripes on your car now.
This is cool.
I'm gonna put some racing stripes on my 4-cylinder.
You gotta have
Honda.
a wrench in the back too.
right? So that's my little soapbox. I was just so pissed, like just the complete audacity, and when I told the guy that Sideshow on their website currently has all the custom R2D2s, my man's got shook. He was like, "Let me go check with the higher ups." I hate that group. It's the worst. I'm gonna get kicked out at some point, but I will go down as a martyr.
This segment is what makes Zach a rage.
Dean, you want to talk about your figure line of the year?
No.
No.
Yes. It's just a figure line that came out of nowhere, and I adore it. And I know Manny gives me tons of crap for it.
Ooh. You told me you were really hyped about this too. I'm really
I
excited.
really, really like it, and I'm really excited to see where they go with it. 'cause-
Teletubbies.
No. Close.
Funko Pop.
Beanie Babies.
Beanie Babies.
They're bringing it back.
Disney Toy Box.
Ooh.
Oh, is that the little funky
Yeah, they came from
garbage?
Their
Disney Infinity.
Disney Infinity series that they discontinued.
Yeah.
But they started releasing figures for both Marvel and Star Wars.
Just so we're clear, they're actual figures. They're not just statues.
Yeah, because the Disney Infinity were like little statues that you
Yeah.
used to play a game.
Because that's the line that has that Spirit Yoda, right?
Yes.
Did
That
you
looks
see Infinity
amazing.
War?
Yeah, and I've been meaning to pick it up. They have them at Disney, but with the craziness of the holidays, it was.
Pick me up one and I'll PayPal you.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're $11.
Oh,
They look-
okay, that's
Yeah.
I love the art style. Like I love the statues because when the game I don't know like went out a bit whatever like the
They
game
just
folded,
discontinued it. Yeah.
they clearanced them out and I picked up a ton of them.
Yeah.
And I gave them away to like.
I did pick up
different
a Darth
charities,
Vader.
but-
I did pick up a
Yeah,
Darth Vader.
and I actually still have the Darth Vader. You're right. Yeah, it's on my shelf.
And
The art style is awesome.
it's super cool. And so their first line of figures was Rey, Kylo Ren, and a Stormtrooper. And I didn't pick any of those up because I don't really like those characters.
No, you liked them until the Last Jedi.
Yeah, and then their second wave was Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, A New Hope, and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And I picked those up, and I was really impressed. The quality is there. So every once in a while, I'll get a loose joint, but it's not to the point where I'm like, this line is trash. And then they released Leia, and then Chewbacca and Han, and they just have a really cool.
They're very displayable.
Yeah, and they just look so different. They catch your eye, and then
You catch my eye, Dean.
thank you. And then later in the year, they released, and they're actually kind of expensive, but it's a set with Han, Chewbacca, and a Millennium Falcon, and they could sit in there. And then they released one with a TIE fighter and a TIE pilot, and the TIE fighter, it has like this handle on it that you squeeze and it like spins around. It's real cool. It's the only way to get the TIE pilot, which is kind of disappointing because, like I said, they're not cheap. The Millennium Falcon, I think, was like $120, which is insane because the figures, like I said, they're $10 to $11. So I don't know what the huge markup is, but I don't know. It's just a really cool line. I'm excited to see where they take it because the Marvel side of it, they have almost everybody that's in a movie. Black Panther, Star Lord, like you name it, they have those figures.
Thanos?
Maybe not. They might have got me. I
Lies.
haven't checked lately,
Deception.
but
Lies.
That's funny. But this next year, I'm really excited to see where they take it because they're just fun.
I think I'm gonna jump into that line. I've never.
They're super cool, and like I said, and you could probably get the older ones even cheaper now,
Nice.
just because Disney always puts things on clearance.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to get the Yoda, I just haven't been able to get down to Disney.
Do me a favor when you go to Disney, if you see the Marvel Select Venom, pick it up for me. I'll PayPal you because that one looks really good too. It's like a 2.0. It's not truly
Yeah,
a 2.0.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That one looks really good.
Nice.
Manny also has been blessed with a segment on the show. Manny, do you want to introduce it and talk about it?
Yeah, I have a page. It's wait on here. Hold on, I'm reading this on here. It says "Picks by Manny Review of the Week." Is that correct?
I'm sorry,
Isn't it-
Flicks by Manny.
Flicks by Manny. There we go.
Ooh.
Flick. No. It's no. Whoa. It's
doesn't even know his own.
Rate the Flicks.
There we go.
Instagram, check it out. Rate the Flicks. It's
RATE.
yeah, THEFLIX. Into the Spider-Verse. You guys seen it yet?
Dude,
I saw it last week.
We won't go into spoilers.
I saw opening night.
Won't go into spoilers. If I start getting there, just let me know. But
Dude, so
I'll do this.
without saying too much, there's a cameo, obviously from Stan Lee, and when I watched it, I got so
I
teary-eyed.
teared up. It was good.
Bro, it is probably my favorite Stan Lee.
Yeah,
I know we've talked about
ever.
this by far.
So good,
Was it like respect? I haven't seen the
dude.
movie, but is it
So I was
respectful?
listening.
Incredibly.
I was listening to a podcast with the directors. I think it was not the Russo brothers, but the one who made the Lego movie.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like they took a big they had a big part in the movie, like making the movie, and they said that they recorded that part like 2 months after Stanley's wife passed away.
Oh,
so
shit.
it
Tells you how far back.
Yeah, it was. It's just, man, it's such a good movie.
I love the. So I went into it not knowing anything about the movie, and I saw the trailers, but never paid attention to them because for some reason I thought they were trailers for the video game.
Oh yeah.
You know, because
No,
I don't have a
I've changed
PlayStation,
that.
so I was like, I don't really care about this.
Yeah.
And I saw like the anti-bullying campaign stuff that they did on the television. Like, I guess they were using that in Spider-Man into the universe to plug like not being an asshole.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know anything about it. And when you saw it, you told me it was a really good film. And I asked you what was the plot because like I said, I hadn't seen any of the trailers. And what did you say?
I said the plot is watch the film.
And I'm glad that I did because when I was telling my wife how good it was, I showed her the trailers. I wouldn't say they show a lot, but there were certain moments and certain characters that came in that I was like jumping out of my seat. Like, what?
Yeah. Let's not say more. But
No, yeah. But it was really good to get the official score that Manny's going to give. Check him out on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Again, it's Rate the Flicks. I have a score system where it's a 1 out of 10. 1 being, the worst, 10 being the best. And
it's really good.
This film got a 10 out of 10.
You see a lot of movies.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
You review...
Yeah. I think the only film that you guys don't agree with me is The Last Jedi.
I give it an 8, I think.
A 7 or 8. I think it's a good movie. But anyways,
it's a 3 maybe.
Some movies you watch them, it'll start off like strong, and then it'll slowly die out by the middle, and then by the end it probably gets. This Spider-Man movie is strong the whole way, and you'll cry with Stanley.
Yeah, I will say on that point, I know we talked about it a few podcasts ago. Our movie of the year. I gotta say it, like Infinity War is good, but it's a movie that I skipped through a lot of it.
Yeah.
This movie, I could definitely see it being like something that I watch beginning to end. There's just so much goodness sprinkled throughout, so many good messages, so many shocking moments.
Oh yeah.
I adored this movie. The animation, I don't know if I mentioned, but the animation style is so crisp. It's so fluid.
Yeah, it's this like mix between 3D.
It looks like you're watching a comic book.
Then they go over it with 2D animation.
It's really
They'll
awesome.
Like 3D animate someone's face, and then all the details are hand drawn.
Yeah, Hot Toys needs to make a Miles Morales. Like that would be like a day one pre-order for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our Rate the Flicks segment with Manny.
Yes.
A lot of pre-orders that happened recently. I'll just touch on a few. The 3-0 Drogon 1/6 scale, which is kind of surprising. At the time of this recording, the Sideshow listing has not gone up yet, but someone has translated I think it was a Singapore dollar pre-order post that went up, and when you do the currency conversion, it comes out to $1,500. I was thinking this would be no more than $500, and I kind of called that on one post, and obviously I'm very wrong. I cannot afford this in no way, shape, or form. Should I even attempt to afford this? But it's a shame. It looks really good. It doesn't look totally 6 scale, which is kind of annoying. And I know, Dean, we mentioned this before, but 3.0 does have some scaling issues, so maybe it might be that. Maybe it just might be that they had to shrink it down a little bit to fit a reasonable display size. McFarlane, like I mentioned, in the CW Awards, has the Viserion up for pre-order. Looks really good, and I'm hoping that they put up a Drogon. And Sideshow put up a really neat idea, which we'll let Jesse talk about here in a second, but they released a S icon up for pre-order, which is a little trinket that they put in their live videos. And I liked it a lot, and when I went to pre-order it, it was waitlisted the color that I wanted. Not sure if the silver color is waitlisted, but the gunmetal was. And I was really just going to use my rewards points to buy it, so I don't have to pay anything. But being super bummed, Jesse came in and saved the day. Do you want to talk about what we're doing?
Right, so what we're doing is we're doing our own logo, Collecting Weekly. It's going to be about a foot wide and 4 to 3 inches deep, and we're going to have it here in like the studio.
3 inches deep, Dean.
Title of your sex tape.
A really good buddy of mine, 10th Dimension Manufacturing. You guys can follow him on Instagram. It's 10 and then DMFG. He does a lot of cool 3D prints. He does Iron Man helmets. So shout out. So that's our shout out to him. He's making this for us. So we got the art by Manny. Manny did the logo for us, and my buddy went ahead and put in his software and just made it in 3D, and he started printing. So we have pictures of that. You can see it on Instagram, Collecting Weekly, and it's coming out nicely, and I can't wait to get to the hand.
Yeah, it's a print that is going to take, I think he said it was like 70 hours.
I think
like that. It was a tremendous amount of time.
Right. When I messaged him and I go, hey, can I get an update? I think it was already 24 hours in, and he said, oh, well, this is it still has like 60 hours left. And he sent me a photo, and I mean, it's so crispy. The lines are so nice and smooth. Like you can't see print lines.
I don't think we're gonna do a lot of finishing.
No, I really don't think so. Like if you see other posts in his his story, he did like a Captain America. I'm sorry, the Captain Marvel star design. You can hardly see any of the print lines. So his work is really good. I really have high hopes for this, and I can't wait to unveil it soon. So just you guys go ahead and look him up. So he's 10 Manufacturing on Instagram, and then check out our Instagram. So Collecting Weekly.
Definitely. Neo released in Hong Kong last week. Looks really good. Definitely.
Neo.
Yeah, right. We destroyed everyone's ears with that. It was so funny because I was in this great train of thought, and Manny busts out his phone.
Dude, your
And
face.
I thought you were getting like an emergency call or something. The way you stood up, and it totally took me by surprise. I was
Dude,
not
going
expecting
back
that.
and re-listening to that, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
That shit was pretty funny.
It was gold.
And Killmonger has also been delayed. I think you said it was delayed to May or June, Jesse?
Yeah, so around May or June, I got an email from Sideshow this morning saying, hey, Killmonger is being delayed, which is good news because all their Infinity War figures, everything's been early releases, and my wallet can't handle it. So I know this is going to be a good thing for my wallet. I can't wait for the figure. I mean, it's kind of bummed out that it is being delayed, but I mean, I'm okay with it. So yeah, Sideshow's delaying Killmonger. That's all I got.
It's kind of surprising that it's delayed because they had just shown the head sculpt a few weeks ago. I thought that meant that we were probably pretty close. But
Right.
I think thinking about it now, it's like for the longest time it was blurred out. So maybe it just took them super long to get Michael B. Jordan to accept something or Marvel
It's
to
always
accept
licensing.
something.
It has to be.
But it looks really good. I'm considering. I got $100 in my pocket from RP. I'm considering. But it just looks amazing. I know we talked about it being shrink ray. It really does look amazing. The last thing that I wanted to talk about today before I let the guys go for their holiday break, we'll probably take New Year's week off, is a really interesting topic that Manny brought up to me in the podcast. We have a group chat where we kind of chat about the show sheet. You know, there's definitely ideas that we throw around that just don't go anywhere, and there's really good ideas. Pretty much. Manny, did you want to talk about introduce the segment right now?
Yeah, so I was curious to know what you guys have to say about this or what y'all's answers would be, but it's something that we always wanted as a kid and we never got until now.
I'll kick us off. It's funny because in the Christmas gift you gave me when we filmed the CW Awards,
Oh, yes.
it was
yes.
actually, we had this topic, and I've always wanted that. It was the Burger King Pokeball. When Pokemon was really hot, they had those golden cards with the Charizard.
Yes,
Ultimate swag
yes.
if you had one as a kid.
Yes.
Manny was nice enough to gift it to me for Christmas this year. Love that thing. It's super awesome. And then also something I got from Rainer, which was the X-Wing from, I think it was Power of the Force. I haven't had a chance to open it. I've been really busy with the holidays, and when you have a kid around this time, a lot of what we're doing is just buying her stuff and wrapping it and so I haven't had a chance to really open it, but it's one of those things that I vividly remember. My dad was in the Air Force, and we'd go to the BX, which is kind of like a Target type store, and they always had really good toy selection. I was actually really surprised, but they always had it. I always wanted it, but we weren't poor, but we weren't like buying like $50 toys, and I never got it. And by the time I could get it, we had moved, and the new BX in Tucson, Arizona wasn't super great. And it was one of those like the white whale figures that like I always wanted to get it, and I've seen reviews of it. It looks amazing. I just haven't had the time to grab a beer, open that thing up, and it's still sealed actually, which is pretty impressive. I'm kind of worried about the batteries being corroded, but hopefully we open it and it's not too bad. But for me, that was a true grail that I've wanted since childhood that is sitting in my garage just waiting to be opened. Do you guys have anything that you wanted to share that you wanted as a kid?
I have to think about it because I got several things that I've recently acquired. I would say I recently acquired. A lot of people who know me know I do a lot of buying and selling of lots and stuff off of like Craigslist and OfferUp.
Yeah, you make deals, man. You get some scores.
Yeah. Well, my mom's a member of this site called Nextdoor, which is kind of like Craigslist meets Angelus type
Yeah,
site.
and it's just with your immediate area.
Yeah, and it's invite only. It's not anybody can just get on there. So anyway, she's a few months ago, she saw a lot pop up where a guy was selling a childhood Star Wars collection. And he was about my age, about in the late 20s. So we had a lot of Clone Wars stuff. and he had this big ATTE for the 3 3/4 inch, and it was just gorgeous and in great shape. It had everything there. The only problem is the electronics don't work, and my big thing about it is I wanted that as a kid, and I could never afford it because it was like what retailed like over $100, something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey.
And again, my family wasn't poor, but we certainly weren't swimming in money, especially at that time, because my brother was alive and he had a lot of medical problems. But yeah, that was definitely a big score for me, and I'm happy to have it.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah. So I remember vividly going to Toys R Us, and all I wanted was an AT-AT.
Ooh.
The Power of the Force AT-AT. And at the time, I remember very vividly, they were $80, $79.99, and we could just never get it. My dad
Toys were expensive back
yeah.
then.
I mean, they're really expensive now. But,
Yeah.
But I never got one, and I just always wanted it. And then one day, my mom found one at like a Goodwill while I was at school.
Uh-huh.
And of course, it's like missing a bunch of stuff, like the doors and the top. She bought it for me, and it was a nice substitute, because I never got it. And I was like, oh, this is so cool, and I have it. I still have it. And then I found out that the Legacy series exists, which is like twice the size. And I happened to find one at a comic book store for $100, complete.
Ooh, nice.
With
Nice.
working
Do you want to
electronics.
give a shout out to the store?
It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And yeah, so he originally had it. I was there when it walked through the door, and he was like, "If you want it, I'll sell it to you for $80." And I was like, "I don't think so." And I let it go. And the next day, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go buy it." So I called him. He's like, "Dude, someone took it this morning. They came and bought it." And I went back maybe.
Had me going there. I was like, "My guy's gonna get it."
And like a few weeks later, I walked in and it was back on the shelf. He's like, they backed out. They had put it in layaway. They couldn't do it. But the price went up, and I was like, I don't care. It's mine.
Yeah.
And I have it, and it sits right on top of my entertainment center. And they're just so iconic.
Yeah.
And I'm super glad. I want two, but I'm happy with one for now.
But that's still cool, man.
Did you guys have anything that you?
Yeah, dude. So growing up, I had I mean, even today, even now, it's one of my favorite holiday movies, Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So check this
That's actually
out.
on my watch list.
I actually know this story, and I adore this story.
Dude, so Turbo Man, I've always liked Turbo Man. I'm like, oh my god, Turbo Man's badass, right? When I was younger. And I always wanted a freaking Turbo Man doll, like at the end when it's all chromed, like the gold is all chromed out. Or
Yeah.
Is it? So I remember walking into Heroes and Fantasies, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, I walked in, right?
This is getting juicy.
Yeah, and I remember I was just checking it out their price, price things, and and I saw a box, a Turbo Man box, and you can guess what happened to my knees.
They got weak.
They got very, very, very weak.
Good callback.
I turned the box around, and it was just a Turbo Man doll, and it was like loose, but it was still in the box. And I think they wanted like $180 for it, and I'm like,
You mean loose? Like it was in the packaging, but not.
it
in
didn't
the
have like the
packaging.
plastic.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
It was just dangling
Just
in there.
the shell. And
Yeah, but it still
okay.
had the box.
I got you,
So
I
it was
got you.
180, and I was like, never in my life will I buy that. So a couple weeks went by, and then I took my little brother to Heroes and Fantasy, and there was no box this time,
Okay.
and Turbo Man had a $80 price tag on it. So I'm like,
Wait, so the box was $100?
So I walked up to the dude, and I'm
a
like,
nice box.
excuse me, is that the best price you'll take? And he's like, give me $4.
What the
$4?
fuck?
I got a Turbo Man for $4.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at right now.
What?
It's like packed up somewhere.
Oh,
but
yeah, I was
okay.
like, this is
I was
a
like-
roller coaster.
it's missing the visor, but I mean,
$4.
I would, I was not gonna pass it up for $4.
So why did he give it to you for $4? He just didn't like it, or
I
did he
guess
just not know what it was? or-
Probably not. He's like, get this bootleg Iron Man out of here. It kind of looks like Mark 50, you know?
Or the Mark V.
We'll post Manny's Turbo Man.
Yes, we will. I have a
shot
little
on the
screenshot.
Instagram.
Yeah. That's
Dude,
the cheapest
that's an
thing.
amazing story. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
dude.
It was a roller coaster because I was like,
I know, it was a roller
The box
coaster
was there,
of-
and then it was missing.
What happened to the box? Like, yeah, $4
Like
though.
$176 box.
Yeah.
I don't even think I had $4 on me. Or I think my little brother bought it for me.
I think you
but-
sent the $4 to Cody to pay for the stamp.
Shout out Cody.
Jesse, did you have anything?
So this doesn't really have to do with toys, but
All right, we're ending right now.
but on Sunday, my fiance and I adopted a German Shepherd, and I've always wanted a German
Ooh.
Shepherd puppy, or not even a puppy, but just a German Shepherd. Period.
Yeah, they're so beautiful.
So beautiful. So he's sitting in his kennel right now, but we picked him up. We drove all the way to Waco. We're in San Antonio, so it was kind of a far drive. We
That
spent
is a far
all day in the car, and he's such a good dog. I mean,
What's
he's
his
so
name?
smart. Zeus.
Ooh, that's a good name for a dog.
He's
My dog's name is Apollo. He's an
Ooh.
asshole. But I love him.
Parvo?
Apollo? Oh. No, his name is Polo. His name is Polo.
Don't put that out there.
Jesus.
I
He's
heard
already
Parvo.
blind. He's already blind. You're wishing Parvo on him.
I'm sorry. No.
Put that
I
in
wish
the
only
universe.
I wish only the best. I'm sorry.
oh sad.
That's awesome, dude.
But yeah, so we adopted him, and
How old
he's,
is he?
like a year. No, he's like a
Ooh,
year and
nice, a
6 months. So he's still a puppy.
Fucker's big, probably.
He's pretty big, but he's super smart. So yeah, that's something I've always wanted as a child, and now that I'm an old homeowner and I make the own rules with my
You
lady.
said homeowner, right?
Yeah, so I was like,
I
we're
heard
getting.
something else.
No. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. So yeah, we adopted and we love them. And shout out my fiance that's sitting over there, live audience right there.
Yeah.
So
We're
yeah,
actually doing live shows. Tickets are available online.
right.
Go to
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster.com or
Anywhere you can find
PayPal
tickets.
500.
Fandango.
Yeah.
One thing I've always wanted was those chicken nuggets that you promised us, and they're still not
I'm
here.
so that's gonna be a forever meme, you
Episode
guys.
18.
That dude's
chicken
gonna get a
nuggets.
sore on his tongue or something.
Anyways, guys.
Wait,
thanks.
can I do an honorable mention of things you wanted as a kid that now exist?
Sure.
Oh yeah,
Lightsabers.
dude.
Just in
yeah.
terms of like Black Series taking over the license from
Oh, from Master
Master
Replicas.
yeah, it's just cool to, and they're re-releasing old ones like the Mace Windu just came out, which is like a $400 lightsaber.
I'm waiting for them to
Yeah.
release the Count
Dude.
Dooku. That's gonna be lit.
Remember last year when you tried to buy me a lightsaber for Christmas and like I was an asshole?
Yeah, fucking.
Maybe
Yeah.
you guys. Maybe
We'll
you guys
save that
can help me.
episode, or we'll save that for next
Next
episode.
week.
Yeah, but yeah, I only have two now. I had three. I had Ray's, but I really wanted Luke's from A New Hope, and I was like, it's not the same, so I sold it.
Kids nowadays are spoiled because like the things you can do with like technology and printing these figures and toys and the way their like faces are like lifelike. I mean, it's crazy compared to what we.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're adults and we could buy them.
Even the sabers have gotten insane now. Like a lot of those custom companies out there, you can upload your own custom sound fonts to them. All those sorts of
Dude,
crazy
there's this
stuff.
guy on Instagram. He makes some really killer lightsabers. I think it's CL Sabers.
I've heard
Oh
of
no,
them.
KR Sabers.
Yeah, I've
Dude,
heard of
he
them.
makes amazing sabers. But since
Oh,
we're
yeah,
talking
he
about
does.
since we're talking about sabers right now, Marissa and I are gonna do our wedding send off with
out.
lightsabers. So if y'all have lightsabers
Oh,
to
bring
bring,
it
out.
Dude, I have like
you know,
10
I don't know
of
if
them.
she's listening. She's over there.
I'm
Shout
I
out.
have
soft clapping because I don't
So
want
whoever has
hurt anyone's
lightsabers.
ears. Dude.
Manny, I have 10 of them. I will happily loan you every single
Oh,
one.
did you hear that?
Yeah.
10 lightsabers.
That's amazing.
We got it. Yeah. So
Am I even invited? Like,
Yes,
I know
bro.
these dudes are
You're
like.
you
You're
didn't make
part
us
of the-
chicken nuggets 2 weeks in a row.
you're part of the
Promise.
fam now.
Yeah, no, Jesse. All jokes aside, Jesse, been a great addition to the show. I know we joked about that we would maybe invite you back, but no, definitely. I look forward to what 2019 has for the show. I know Manny was telling us that the holiday season was really good for him to be able to come and record. The cast of the show is going to change from week to week. Some weeks Manny will be able to come, some weeks Jesse will come. Zach is rarely off on Tuesdays when we record, so he'll come in as he can.
He'll
might be
come every week,
There
though.
might even be some weeks where maybe I'm not feeling well and you guys take over the mantle for a week.
Hell
But generally speaking, the cast is we'll be pretty much me and Dean, and then whoever can make it that day.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening.
Dude.
This year has been really good. We've been doing this podcast for like 16 weeks in a row.
Yeah, and thank you guys. I mean, for listening like every week and tuning in and listening to us talk about figures and collectibles and things that you guys are into. I think that's awesome.
If you want to see more about our personal lives, I know we'll be, like I said, taking off. We pre-recorded this episode. We're taking off Christmas week and probably New Year's week to spend some time with our families. You can check us out on social media. There's at Pix by Manny, Pix by Manny. My Instagram, my personal Instagram is at ZachG with a ZACKG _ or at Collecting Weekly. Dean is at Deanomite54, DEANOMYTE54. And Jesse is at Manhattan PhD, which is funny because when I met you, I thought you were a doctor, and I was going to call you like Doctor.
You should have. You should have been like,
Dr.
Mr. Doctor.
And
Rainer over here is
doesn't
a mystery. So
I have them, but I haven't shared them yet.
one day, tune in one day, we'll find out. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for making this year really good for us.
Yeah,
we look
Thank
forward
you guys,
to
really.
being back next year, revitalized with lots to talk about. I'm sure I'll be kicked out of sideshows.
that'll be my birthday week,
Hey, birthday?
January 5th.
Well, I'm not getting you. a
I'll
gift.
get you
I got
some Neil
I got you a lot
Sporin.
of gifts, right?
Neo.
Have a good one, guys. We'll catch you next
Yeah,
year.
see you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.